Recently, colleagues, we learned that the nation's largest school board association asked the Biden administration to investigate alleged threats by parents who objected to certain school policies and issues of radical indoctrination. According to the National School Board Association, these parents were engaging in acts of domestic terrorism. In a letter, the NSBA leaders wrote that acts of malice, violence, threats against public school officials have increased. The classification of these heinous actions could be the equivalent of a form of domestic terrorism and hate crimes. Based then on this memo, the Attorney General Merrick Garland fired off a memo to the FBI directing it to coordinate the nation's 14,000 school districts. He instructed the Department of Justice National Security Division, the division dedicated to fighting terrorism, to investigate these parents. So, colleagues, are vast numbers of school board members coming under violent attack by these protesting parents? No. To date, a little over 20 arrests nationally were cited by the NSBA letter. These included aggravated battery and/or disorderly conduct and were handled in the appropriate jurisdiction by local law enforcement, not the FBI's Division for Fighting Terrorism. The real issue here is about weaponizing federal authorities against parents for speaking out. The real issue here is attempting to silence parents through intimidation, smear, and coercion. A good example of this is what happened to Mr. Scott Smith, a father at Loudoun County, Virginia. Mr. Smith was arrested at a school board meeting for accusing the district of covering up the vicious rape and sodomy of his daughter in the girls' bathroom by a male student. As he attempted to deliver his remarks, law enforcement officers sprang into action, physically arresting and removing him. The National School Board letter suggested his behavior was an example of domestic terrorism. Well, now, who is telling the truth? Newly released emails revealed that the Loudoun School's superintendent, who denied having any record of a female student being raped, reported the assault to the school board that day of the attack and then covered it up. Worse, according to the Loudoun County prosecutor, this same boy was then transferred to another school and has now been charged and arrested, reportedly involved in another sexual assault, now on a different girl. Colleagues, just exactly how placidly would you react if that was your daughter? Obviously, colleagues, we can all agree violence and intimidation have no place in the public arena. But the overwhelming number of parents targeted by the DOJ are not violent individuals. They are parents just like you and me, with great love and passion for their children, concern for their children's safety and what is being taught in their classroom. And despite what some on the left have declared recently, parents should have a say in what is going on in their schools. The very purpose of our First Amendment is for the protection of the unanointed voices, the voices speaking up to power. If parents are unhappy about their children's education, they have every right to speak up to the school board and be heard. It is appalling and chilling to know that if you raise your voice opposing those in power, the federal government may just label you as a potential domestic terrorist. Our mothers and fathers here in Michigan will not be intimidated. I am grateful to parents in our state who are standing up, speaking out in a nonviolent manner, and letting their voices be heard. Thank you, Mr. President.